Hello and welcome to the Source One podcast. Consider us your source for the latest procurement, supply management, and strategic sourcing insights, anytime, anywhere.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Source One podcast. I'm your host, Bennett Glace, and today we've got a very special guest, the new president of ISM Chicago, Rob Mietus. How's it going, Rob?
I'm doing very well. How are you, Bennett?
Not too bad. It's a beautiful Friday here in Willow Grove, Pennsylvania, and very excited to have you on the show. So to start off, I want to ask a question I've been asking everyone on recent episodes because the theme for ISM's national conference this year, as you probably remember, was Spark. I'm interested to learn what first sparked your interest in supply chain management.
Oh, sure. My first spark. So my interest was first sparked during my undergraduate experience at University of Illinois. I was basically searching for my path and the answer to the question, what do I want to do when I grow up? After learning about the different majors, I found supply chain excited me the most. Plus, it didn't hurt that they had 100% job placement and one of the most competitive salaries coming out of school.
And could you describe an early win in your career? When did you first start to realize that you were in the right place?
Oh, sure. Yeah. So we had a curriculum at U of I that was case study focused, which worked great at a co-op that I did with Caterpillar my senior year. I became Six Sigma certified during my co-op and was able to apply that Six Sigma process and the supply chain curriculum that I learned at U of I to drive significant results. Millions of dollars in cost reductions on my first project, which for a college student was eye-opening.
And in your opinion, what's been to you the most interesting or exciting change that you've seen in your time in procurement and supply management?
So I'm constantly learning, constantly improving myself. So I've got lots of different experiences to share. I spent the first half of my career sourcing direct materials and focused on learning the technical skills, sourcing process, data analytics, negotiations. I went as far as becoming a certified gearhead on my first project, getting a certification in the design and manufacturability of gears, which helped set me up for success to intelligently look at drawings, understand specs and tolerances, speak to engineers, ask better questions during plant visits, and improve the supply decisions we made as we globally source the product. But over the past several years, I've transitioned more to focus my learning and continuous improvement on the soft skills. Because one thing I learned is I could source the best program in the world, but if it's not implemented, there's no value in all that time and effort that I spent. So I've been focusing on change management, leadership, stakeholder engagement, work selection, and prioritization. And I found that the technical skills are a little easier to learn and apply. It's more black and white, whereas the soft skills are more challenging. And now related to my ISM experience, that ISM's really helped me develop and improve on those skill sets.
Yeah, we write about that a lot on the blog. It seems that as technology is coming around to sort of, supplant people in a lot of those sort of tactical functions, that it's only going to be more important that people can, negotiate and collaborate, and they have that sort of, emotional intelligence that you can't really learn from a book. So you've mentioned that ISM has kind of helped you in that regard, training on some of those soft skills. How did you first get involved with your local chapter of ISM out there in Chicago?
Connected with Frank Cargill, who was the president of ISM Chicago at the time. He made me aware of all the different opportunities within ISM Chicago to get engaged and continuously improve. And I always thought of ISM Chicago as just a certification body and kind of ended there. But I didn't realize all the other opportunities for thought leadership and engagement and the different committees out there, networking aspect to be able to learn from my peers. And he helped me become aware of all the opportunity that existed in ISM Chicago. And I had a lot of passion in the areas that he mentioned. He invited me to a strategy session a few weeks later with the leadership team. And soon thereafter, I was voted onto the board and made my progressions from there.
So I guess that sort of answers my next question then, is when you started to pursue a leadership position within ISM, it was that relationship with the then president that sort of kind of helped you see that big picture and start to see yourself in that role?
Absolutely. And that's kind of the nice part about ISM Chicago is when we meet folks that have great ideas, we are agile and implement them immediately. I'll give you an example. I just met an emerging leader a few weeks ago. He was pretty much nominated by his COO to be part of our newly formed emerging leaders group. And quickly, I found that he's very passionate, had some great ideas, and tapped him to be the leader of the emerging leaders, so to speak. Invited him to the board meeting that we had this week. And the board was so impressed that they offered him some seed money for the emerging leaders group so he could get it launched properly and with the right funding. So when there's great ideas, when we find great people that are full of passion and great ideas, we are agile to make things happen. And I'm living proof of that, and we continue to embark on those types of opportunities.
And what else would you say are those central tenets of ISM and ISM Chicago's historical mission? Why do you think it's so important that we not only have the ISM national organization, but these local chapters?
So when we speak to our mission statement, it's we advance the practice of supply management to drive value and competitive advantage and contribute to a prosperous, sustainable world. So I want to break that up a bit because I see two major concepts there. Part of that is we drive value and competitive advantage. So there are lots of ways that our function helps above and beyond keeping the company running and cost savings. ISM Global helps us do that from a theoretical perspective, and then the local chapter helps with the application and enablement of that concept. So we should all be involved in all the aspects of a company strategy, from driving innovation and bringing new market opportunities at our companies to increasing our company's agility, so that when a trade war takes place or a typhoon impacts key production facilities, we are ready and have mitigation plans in place. That's where we as a function lead to a competitive advantage for our companies and turn those supply chains into a strategic function. And especially like at the local chapter level, we help provide a lot of those stories and help companies change the paradigm of how they think about us as a function, so that we aren't just a tactical function. We are a strategic function, and we deserve a seat at the table. So now that's the drive value and the competitive advantage part of the mission statement, but it goes beyond that. The second part is just as important. It's contributing to a prosperous, sustainable world. I was at our monthly meeting yesterday hosted by Walgreens regarding the topic corporate social responsibility. Jim Townsend, Walgreens CPO, did a great job personalizing the decision we make as a supply chain procurement professional and the impact we have to make the world a better place. It comes from ensuring that we aren't doing business with companies that break child labor policies, to companies that do not have sustainable practices for lumber, oil, palm oil, etc., to conflict minerals, and the list goes on. Also, many cost savings initiatives align with sustainability goals. So not only can we save the company some money, but we could help save the planet as well. Lots of great ideas there, from printing less paper to more energy efficient equipment and a whole host of ideas, all that we discussed yesterday. But at the end of the day, we need to ensure that we are doing business with socially responsible companies in our supply chain, enhancing our company and individual contributions so that we could all have a better part in making the world a better place for everyone and our children.
Are there any ways that you see yourself taking ISM Chicago's mission in a new direction, or do you see yourself as more of an evolution of the mission they've always had?
I don't see myself taking ISM Chicago in a new direction. I would say I'm on a continuous improvement journey and evolving our existing value proposition to ensure it aligns with all the key stakeholders, and make sure it's relevant to all the different stages in one's career path, and then creating actionable programming events, creating actionable experiences to help impact our members' career aspirations and improve company performance as a result.
So I took a look at your platform, your statement to ISM Chicago members up on the site since you became president. And what experiences or observations would you say informed that platform? How did you start to build that out?
Oh, sure. I would say I would mention a few groups that have helped form that, because I've spoken to hundreds of individuals across the country. And so first and foremost, it was collaborating with other chapters. I've collaborated with over 20 chapters across the country to understand what they're doing well, where they have seen the biggest impacts and leverage their experiences. We have a tremendous network that I'm very lucky to be part of. Second group that I would mention is the Procurement Executive Roundtable that I helped form early on with ISM and a couple of partners. Um, we've done that for over 2 years, and I have learned a tremendous amount from over 100 procurement executives from around the Chicagoland area on all topics impacting procurement and supply chain, from talent to evolving skill sets, technology, black swan events, risk management, category management, and a whole host of other opportunities that are top of mind for procurement executives. And then the last and probably the one that I'm most passionate about at the moment is the emerging leaders. And this is a new group that we're just launching, and I am extremely excited about them. This group has so much passion, energy, and great ideas. I'm confident these will be the future leaders of our profession, and we're lucky to have such a bright future ahead of us.
I'm interested, what's one challenge you're especially eager to address as president of ISM Chicago?
The way I view this is I don't think it's a matter of which challenge is the most important to address, but how do we change the paradigm in which we face challenges? Like I mentioned, I'm a silver lining kind of guy, and I want to turn that perspective from, hey, that's not necessarily a challenge, but an opportunity for us to advance. With that said, though, I do ask our membership frequently on what challenges they face that we need to be able to help them address. And there are some common themes that make everyone's lists, including a shortage of talent. That is probably the number one topic on every procurement executive's list. And then second is the geopolitical risks that include the tariff wars, the Brexit, conflict in the Middle East, to name a few, and many more that are out there. Third is everybody's trying to wrap their heads around the digital transformation that's occurring, and trying to identify how it is relevant and what they should be doing at their specific companies, and looking for use cases to be able to develop those business cases for their own digital transformations. And then fourth, which I think is always going to be a key theme, is elevating our profession to get a seat at the company leadership table and be a very strategic function in our organization.
So one issue that kind of I think goes hand in hand with the talent one is technology. Obviously, both an obstacle and an opportunity for procurement teams everywhere. Can you tell me more about your plans for ISM Chicago's technology fair?
First and foremost, it is a common topic that's been discussed, and a lot of confusion is out there in terms of what all the cornucopia of acronyms mean. So first, we want to demystify all the terms, help make them relatable, and how a professional can use the technologies as a tool to help them become more strategic and effective. We're partnering with Spend Matters to pull together practitioners across various stages of the technology cycle to provide companies options and appropriate fits for their different use cases that they have at their respective companies. Some will be on the leading edge, that will be deploying robotic process automation or bots to gather market intelligence quicker. Others will be utilizing artificial intelligence to help with data mining and decision making. And also, there are different point solutions that bring unique advantages for specific categories or processes. There's so much out there, and we want to help provide a roadmap and real-world experience to help navigate these technology waters.
So you also express your interest in making ISM Chicago a go-to for career advancement, transition, and excellence. Do you think ISM has historically seen itself that way? If anything, what's been missing as far as career advancement? What's a new element you're hoping to introduce?
I believe the desire has always been there to become that go-to organization, but what I'm finding out is that the awareness is not there. And I kind of go back to what I had mentioned early on when I first met Frank. I had ISM kind of just positioned as a certification body and wasn't aware of all the opportunity that exists out there. And what I'm finding out in my conversations is that many have the same perspective I once had.
of ISM as just a certification body, a national conference, and it stops there. They don't realize we have all these different opportunities for career enhancement, career progression, and career transition. We have a mastery model to help identify proficiency gaps and training programs for all levels in one's career. We have different ways to engage and obtain invaluable networking, mentorship, and leadership opportunities to advance a career. And if a person is in career transition, we should be the first place to go because we have a lot of tools, a job board, and a lot of ways to get folks connected and prepare them for success in their next career stage. So that's kind of what I'm trying to enhance is the awareness of all that ISM Chicago has to offer, so that we can fulfill that desire to become that go-to, because we have the tools and the team to do that. We just need to create that awareness.
And what does career excellence look like to you? And how do you envision that changing throughout the next era of procurement and supply chain management?
I think that's a great question. I follow a belief that if you have passion in what you do, you will be successful in life and your profession no matter what. So the first step in career excellence is find that passion. And then next is venture on a lifelong continuous improvement journey and always challenge the status quo. Anytime I hear we've tried that before, or we have the best program, no need to look at that, I know there's opportunity, and you need to look under that rock. There's always a better place. So for me, the top two things when you look at career excellence is find that passion and always challenge the status quo.
And what excites you most about working with this emerging generation of procurement professionals?
I've been very impressed with the next generation of procurement professionals. They're full of passion, energy, thought leadership, and they have a sense of purpose to advance the profession and make the world a better place. Like I mentioned, we're launching an emerging leaders group to harness that sense of purpose, to be the incubator for ISM Chicago's future leaders. They've already provided some great new programming ideas, different ways to engage, and we haven't even launched it yet. I can't wait to see what this group will accomplish.
So presidents are typically assessed in terms of their first 100 days. What's one word or idea you hope will define your first 100 days as ISM Chicago's president?
Engagement. The one word, if I could just embody my first 100 days, is engagement. At the end of the day, we serve our members, and the more engaged we are with our members, the better we're doing. I welcome anyone looking to attend, looking to engage, looking to lead, or anyone that has a better way of doing things. Please reach out to me. You can find my contact information on ISM Chicago's website, or reach out to me via LinkedIn. I welcome any and all feedback, and that's critical to my success and the organization's success, especially in the first 100 days of my presidency.
Well, I look forward to seeing it come together, Rob. Thank you so much for taking the time, and thank you for listening to the Source One podcast.
You've been listening to the Source One podcast. For more strategic sourcing and procurement insights every day, visit our blog, The Strategic Sorcerer. Want to provide feedback or suggest a topic for a future episode? Let us know at prrequest@sourceoneinc.com. Thanks for listening.